should be thinking about from a building perspective, how much would it cost to completely rebuild your property? And think about that in today's market rates. So what we see a lot is that people maybe had a sum insured that a few years ago was appropriate, but we've seen a significant amount of inflation in building repairs. So people are getting caught out when it comes to claims time and they don't have a sufficient sum insured. What that means is that if you do have a fire and your sum insured is going to be quickly eroded, it often means that the insurer will cash settle you as a total loss, which means that you actually end up with a lump sum payment, but it may not be enough to actually undertake the repairs. From a contents perspective, most policies in Australia for contents are new for old. What that means is all of the contents in your property, if they were damaged, you actually get a new replacement of that product. So when you're thinking about the sum insured for your contents, you need to be thinking, if you were to have to go out and buy all of those contents today from the local shop or Harvey Norman, what is the cost of all those contents if you were having to replace them? And what we find far too often is that when people experience a large loss and they have $40,000 for contents, that's very quickly eroded when you're buying couches or you're replacing your iPhone or your expensive TVs. So people need to be thinking about this at renewal or when they're taking out a policy to think, what would that actually cost? And then make sure you're adjusting your policy to have those higher limits. Now, obviously that comes at an increased premium and you need to factor that in. But if you're unsure of what that cost is, there are tools that are available if you were to Google them that will assist you in understanding what the likely cost is of rebuilding your property. Or you could speak to an insurance broker who can understand your personal circumstances and make sure that you get a product that is suitable for you and that you will have a sufficient sum insured if the worst was to happen at your property. If you leave this to claims time, there's very little that can be done at that time because the event that happens is at a point in time. So therefore it's your sum insured that applied at the time that will be applicable.